Hello and welcome to the Matt Chambers Show, connecting people, places, and ideas. I'm your host, Matt Chambers. This is the podcast about living, traveling, and doing business internationally. Each week, we bring you inspiring stories and actionable insights to help you create a life beyond borders. Tune in and turn your dreams into reality. Tell me a little bit about your background. Tell me a little about you and what you guys have going on over there. I want to learn a little bit about El Salvador today.
Well, I'm in my 40s. Practically, I was born and raised here in El Salvador, and I am like a kid from the war time. You know, when we had our civil war, and I studied in a public school. I graduated from the university. I had a lawyer degree here in El Salvador, and I mean, my jobs are becoming from, working in a car wash or something like that, working in a restaurant, working in a warehouse and workshops. And practically, I had a very good background experience doing a lot of things. As many Salvadorians and probably most of the Latin Americans, we do a lot of things for having incomes, you know,
Mhm.
for having money to pay our bills. So is where I come from. I have two brothers, my mom, my dad. They're still alive, and well, with my wife, plus practically we are 10 in our family,
Yeah.
8 kids, and she and me. So probably if you interview her, you probably she mentioned something like that to you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I finished the interview with her the other day. It was absolutely incredible. I'm really excited about what you guys are doing over in El Salvador. When was the war? I mean, I know El Salvador was a hard place up until basically when Bukele took over, I think.
Well, I cannot define exactly when it started because if we come back to history, you will know that probably we always been in war.
Yep.
Our society was very conflicted, but as our civil war started practically in 1980s and was ending in 1992. So was 12 years civil war. Practically between the last communist standing from Russia against the capitalists from USA. They
Hmm.
use us as a border to fight
Yeah.
their fight.
Yep.
So yeah,
It was a
yeah,
proxy war, basically.
yeah, exactly. But yes, I cannot put an excuse that just was for USA or for Russia, for communist capitalists. No, also we as a Salvadorian, we had a lot of problems, but all these things come from the conquest from the Spaniards.
Yeah.
So everything comes together, and then in the 80s the war starts, and hello, and what happened is just Salvadorian killing Salvadorians.
Yeah. I
You know,
know my dad. Um, he's never actually left the U.S. Done quite a bit of traveling in the U.S., but not has never left the U.S. He works with an El Salvadorian guy. I think he still works with him now. And he was telling me that that guy told him when he was a kid, he remembers walking over dead bodies in El Salvador when he was going to school.
yes, in some areas, yes, you can see that. I can say I was lucky most of my time because the area where we live, most in the Santa Tecla area, you won't see that. But in some part of El Salvador, uh, probably you will see that. And also some areas in the rural areas of El Salvador, you will be having that kind of issues.
But not
Uh,
now, right? Not since Bukele came in.
No, because that was in the past. I mean, I think you mentioned that was, I think that the guy say it was when he was
When he was a
kid, you
child.
know?
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah, yeah. So probably in the war, yes, but after that, it's not like, with the games, it was completely different situation, completely situation. It's not like you will see a lot of dead bodies in any roads or something like that.
Hmm.
Yes, you can find someone who was murdered or something like that, but it's not, I mean, that you will see every day, like in the war, that the police, the militaries take the people and they kill them because they will be saying that they were communists or something like that.
Hmm.
So with the games was completely different. Yes, you see a lot of murders uh, and violence, but it's different situations. But even with games, we were suffering more than during the war
Hmm.
because there's a lot of people that, I mean, that you cannot move in the country easily. Yes, you can go to the tourist places, you can drive safe around the main roads. But for example, you cannot take any alley from the main road and say, I'm going to take this just to short the time that I had to go there and blah, blah, blah. No, that's not possible because you don't know where you are going. And yes, it's something completely different during the war because during the war you can move freely.
And
You
it was
can
dangerous,
go
though.
anywhere.
It was dangerous up until Bukele took over. Is that accurate?
Yes, being honest, yes. But we have to tell the truth too. It's not that Bukele comes and then everything was like a
Right.
paradise and everything is gone. Not at all. Bukele was trying to do the best, my personal opinion. But then the games, because they control and they want to show their power. And then there's a, there was a day the games killed almost 87 people during a weekend. So during that time, and Bukele said, no, no more, stop. And when that was the time when he declared the régimen d'exception that could be like a martial law in USA, and everything is starting to becoming different.
Mm.
You know, for first time, we as a Salvadorian, we feel protected, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I mean,
eh,
from what I've heard from Bukele, I mean, I think that it was pretty rough the first few years of his presidency too, right? Because what he had to do to clean it up was, was pretty drastic. Uh,
for big problems, drastic solutions.
yeah,
Sometimes it's hard. He mentioned something that I like. He say like medicina amarga. You know, when
bitter medicine.
some doctor prescribe you medicine and is like you don't
Yeah.
want to drink, but you have to because you're sick or you have to do that. It's something like that. You know, for create solutions is what not only he has to do, is us as a society too. Because hello, normally even if we are looking the benefits, probably we say, no, but because it's not in my way, this is bad. We put the adult ideologies in front before anything, and our eyes are not open completely to all the pictures. And because normally we only see here in our box, and we cannot see, we are not looking behind these walls. And when someone is okay, they do that to your walls, you want to put your walls again here.
Hmm.
So yeah, a lot of things have changed.
Well, I
actually.
don't think I don't think anyone can argue about what Bukele has done and what you guys have done as a society to change El Salvador, because now it appears to be an extremely safe place. And from my understanding, he's created a movement to where the citizens are backing him. I understand that if there's a crime happening in the street or there's any kind of corruption happening in the street, the citizens are videoing, taking pictures, and sending it in to let the government know, and the people know that those things are going on. So, in my view, it seems to me like he's created a movement and he has the people behind him at this point.
Yeah, it's a lot of situations. Yeah, he's creating the society that can bring some opportunities to all the people. It's difficult for us as Salvadorians to see that. Why? Because we never had control.
Yep.
We we never see that we had opportunities. We never see that we had hopes. We are knowing right now what is feel freedom. But probably for you, Matt, in USA, freedom means completely different for
Yep.
you. Because if I say okay, it's because I can go to the park with my kids and nothing happened. For you, it's something common, you know.
It's
It's
normal.
something that for you that's freedom. It is what you are going to say. But yes, for me, that is freedom. That I can visit my friends, that I can go and visit my dad, and that I can go and visit my brothers, all my family. I mean, right now, if you look into the social media, you watch YouTube videos about El Salvador, that I think you already done that. You will see that, oh, look this waterfall, look this river, look this antique place, look this, and the people are happy because now we can go anywhere, and we are starting to know our country. And that's particular amazing, because I love El Salvador. I love my country, and now we can do that. And in the past, it's something that, I mean, only if you go to the very pointed touristic place,
Mhm.
probably you will feel a little bit safe, but you will always having your cautions with everything around you. So, but right now, no, even now, if you come as a tourist, I can say, okay, you can go free to see anything you want. I mean, just ask for a Uber driver and go around, or just rent a car. And right now, it's a very good business for people who want to invest, I think, because if you ask for a Uber driver right now in Christmas season, is there's nothing. So everything is booked. But why? It's because now we had that feeling. We had maybe just not the feeling, we had the situation too. Because one thing is just I feel I am free, I can do anything. But if you don't have the situation that support that feeling, I mean, probably you will say, oh no, Cesar is lying. This Salvadorian is lying. They are just showing something that is not true. But hello, it's something that my clients and my business, I always say, okay, you have to live it. I mean, let's go, come on. And we are starting to walk around San Salvador. We go to different places. Uh, I mean, so they can see, and they are like kind of confusing because they see the Salvadorians happy doing anything on the streets. I mean, and I say now you can see the Salvadorians that at least they don't feel, they don't have to rush on the streets because probably someone is going to take what they belong, and
They don't have to
that
worry
is,
about that now.
yeah, they don't have to run on the streets. They don't have to be uh, very careful when they take the public buses, and that for us is completely different. That I can take my cell phone and I can see social media, YouTube videos, whatever, on the bus, and nobody's coming with a gun and say, "Hey, give me your things." Yes, I have to be honest. It's not perfect. Probably that happened in very certain areas. Maybe I don't know because now uh, something that probably Bukele show us is if you see something that is wrong, take your cell phone like that, then take a picture, tag the police, and say, "Look, who is what this guy is doing,"
Yeah.
and they are coming for you, you know.
Yeah,
So
and
it's
the transformation that I've seen over there, and it's not just me, but Bukele at this point is the most popular leader in the world, the most popular president in the world. Arguably one of the top, if not the top, most popular guys. And it seems to me like there's a lot of other countries in Latin America that could just copy exactly what he did and maybe turn their situations around too. Or maybe not just Latin America, but all over the world. I feel like the crime throughout Latin America is pretty similar. You mentioned the cell phone robberies and things like that. Everywhere I've been in Latin America, they recommend you don't take your cell phone out and check social media. You keep your phone in your pocket, right? And so I think to be able to do that in Salvador is quite a testament to what he's done over there. And, I think to your point of the different perceptions of freedom, you're right about that. To freedom to an American is, things such as, being able to carry a gun and tell the president he's an idiot, those things. And
I mean, you can do, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you can do that here too. But you know, for example, in USA right now, your president or the new
he's an idiot.
president,
Biden's an idiot. Oh, the new president I
I mean,
love. The old president I don't.
yeah, you can say anything of them, but they had the right, like Bukele says, okay, you can say anything about me, but I had the right to say you're wrong, and that
Yeah.
this is the
Yeah.
truth. I mean, in that's a free speech. I mean,
Mm.
it is like every part of the world. So yes, we can do that. The people say no, you cannot criticize the government. Yes, you can do that, but I mean, you can say anything, but if you don't have background to that, I mean, it's because you're lying or because you are telling something that you listen from someone else,
Yeah.
and you only repeating what you listen.
Mhm.
So that becomes maybe fake news or something like that. So
Yep.
it's not true. But if
Yep.
you're going to say something, you have to stand in and say it. I mean, the people can do protests, riots here, or they can do whatever. But you know what Bukele is doing is they say the courts, please just let them do whatever they want, and then the municipality, the from San Salvador just go and clean after they make a big disaster. But you know, so they cannot say, I mean, hey, look, Bukele sent two cops. It's repression.
Yeah.
No, 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 not
Yeah.
not okay.
From what I understand, you have a huge influx of foreigners, Americans, Canadians, people from other countries that are coming there not only for tourism, but I think they're investing there. And then I also saw where there's been a ton of El Salvadorians in the United States that are trying to move back. Are you seeing that?
I'm sorry, I cannot listen very well. I just listen until you say some people are coming to invest.
Yeah, no, I heard that there's a huge influx of Americans, Canadians, and other foreigners that are coming to El Salvador to invest and to live. And then additionally, there's a very high number of Salvadorians that are coming back from the U.S. to El Salvador now, right?
Yes, you're right. Probably are most Salvadorian coming back right now. You know, they are retiring in USA right now and they choose to come back because, hello, in the past, they say, okay, why I had to come back to El Salvador, even I love my country, but I will feel unsafe. So, yes, there's a lot of Salvadorians coming back, and there's a law that the government create was for 1 year before, but they pass like a couple of months that they can the law will be renewable for one period more, for 1 year more, and that's giving the Salvadorians coming back one benefit that they can bring, for example, to cars or at least their households, at least, um, not at least, maybe under 70K dollars. So it's a good benefit for them, because normally they had everything there, their cars, and probably they had a business. They are in the construction industry, the cleaning industry, the landscaping or something like that, and the government is giving the benefit to bring everything with them and not paying importation taxes. So it's something that you say, oh, this is good for me. So if I bring all my teams and I start or something in El Salvador, I mean, I'm not going to pay a lot of money to start my company because even the government creates in the beginning of the year a new way to create more easy the one company. And when before that was very bureaucratic process and sometimes difficult for people to understand when you don't know the laws involved. So yes, the first wave is Salvadorians coming back. Then is the people from USA, Canada, Europe. Some people are coming from Australia. Yes, for example, my company is about to help people how to immigrate to El Salvador and show around how to live in El Salvador. We are focusing in people who are providing plus to El Salvador, not just come, create business and take everything out from here. It's more about to come, create. They can become the most rich people in El Salvador. We don't care about that, but it's time to share. It's
Mm-hmm.
not just time to take and send the money back to USA. No, it's time to create and share with Salvadorians. For the Salvadorians that we are starting to believe that everything can change here. So we are focusing on our clients in that way. We show our clients all El Salvador, not just, okay, this is El Salvador and this is the nicest areas and you can live here. And now we say, okay, this is El Salvador, this is the reality of El Salvador, this is like an all El Salvador. And yes, we also have these nice places, expensive houses. We have the big malls and everything close. But also you need to know where Salvadorians live normally,
Mm-hmm.
where we are coming from.
How are you seeing? I know the safety issue. Safety's a million times better, like we said earlier. But how are you seeing the economy changing? I mean, are people creating businesses more than they were before? Are there more jobs available?
It's like a mix of everything, you know. First, you don't want to invest in a place where your money is not going to be safe for
Hmm.
anything.
Sure.
Hello, here even the biggest company pays extortions to the games, and not too many people talk about that, but that's the truth.
It's still
Because
happening.
no, no more.
Not anymore. Okay.
But for example, I know the company like I don't want to mention a brand to have problems with the well the drinks, the company who sell sodas.
Uh-huh.
I know because one of my brother was a manager on one company of that, and they had to pay to. I mean, for the workers can get into some places and sell the drinks, sell the sodas. So, I mean, and now they are not paying nothing of that. I mean,
Is that an American company?
yeah, perfect.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Well, I
You
mean,
know,
most of us that have experience in Latin America kind of knows that that's the case, right? I mean, if you're going to do business, you're going to pay to do it, right? I mean, it's kind of a common
yeah,
knowledge for guys like us.
but coming back from your question, yes, I mean, the people who are selling tortillas on the street, they don't have to pay any more to the gangs. Probably cheap. she's selling the same tortillas. I mean, probably the woman who sells tortillas in front of my house, she sells 100 tortillas per day, and she's still selling 100. But the thing is that, for example, if she's making $10 per day as a profit, now the $10 is
It's all hers.
just for her. I mean, it's not like the past that the guys come and say, okay, you have $10, give me five to me if you
Uh-huh.
want to make that money. So
So now it
yeah,
gives her the opportunity, it gives the entrepreneur an opportunity to expand their business, add another tortilla stand, as you said, or hire someone to help.
yeah, things like that. I mean, it's a process. Hello, we are coming from a darker area of El
Darkest times.
Salvador, and we are improving on that. I mean, the economy will not be perfect from one day to another day. Yes, we are looking the light right now, and why I mentioned up before about the people we love to show around El Salvador, or my focus in my company is because these people can bring another ideas to create
Yeah,
something
I
different.
love what you guys are doing. You know, I've traveled quite a bit of Latin America. In fact, I've hit most of the highlights of Latin America for sure, and been traveling, living, and doing business in Latin America since, well, 18 years ago, almost 2 decades. And um,
Mm,
I really, really like what you guys are doing to help foreigners acclimate to Salvador, and showing them the entire perspective, right? Giving them a full perspective and saying, "Hey, we're going to show you absolutely everything we can, so you get the full scope of what it would like to be, what it would be like to live here," and then letting them make that decision, and then you helping them with that process as well. I really enjoy. I really think that's a genius way to go about things.
Thank you. Yeah, because for us, it's not, I mean, it's not selling a service. For example, telling you, hey, Matt, okay, I will show you El Salvador. Look, this amazing El Salvador, and just take you around the nice
The best
areas.
part,
And
yeah,
then, yeah, the two months later, when you wanna get outside the bubble, you say, well, but this already showed me the El Salvador. It looks like that. So we are not selling a dream that is not true.
yeah,
We are selling, hello, this is a new opportunity to you. You are, I mean, you trying to move outside of your country for one reason is because normally they say, I don't believe anymore my country is doing the right things, and I want to see another place when I can feel the free that I feel before in my country. Most Americans things like that, and also most of the Canadians that are coming here, they say, okay, I feel like I'm in a prison in Canada. My country is becoming communist. I mean, I'm not trying to do this like ideologies talk, but it's what they say.
yeah, sure,
Uh, and they feel more free here in El Salvador than in Canada. I mean, yes, we have a lot of things to change. Yes, our culture is, I mean, it's completely different than yours.
sure,
Uh, it's Latin American culture. You travel a lot in Latin America. You know how to deal with Latinos.
yeah,
I mean, but the thing that is happening in El Salvador is that we are open. We are open to see what the foreigners can bring to us, but
hmm
not just take. It's about to share,
hmm
about how together can grow as a society. I mean, if you come here to create and give and do the best for you, as I say, you can create your business and become richer. Nobody cares, but share, share. No, no, come here is because hey, El Salvador is cheaper,
it's cheap, yeah,
and I'm going to pay the minimum wage. No, you need to see different. It's not that the government has to say, okay, you have to make your companies have to pay 10,000 or $1,000 as a minimum wage. No, it's the people who have to start this to say no. I know that I am making a lot of money in my company, and my employees or the people who work with me, they need to make money too. I mean, why can I not share my profit?
sure.
If they are doing the best they can, they are making them that I can make a lot of money.
Yeah,
Probably is
you're You're looking for people that are going to come and add value to the country. I think every country should be doing that. You know, the every single country around the world needs to know who's coming into their country and what value are they bringing. And if they're not bringing any value, then they can't come. And it's been a thing for many years that Americans are. I'm an American, but I'll be the first to say I've seen it all over Latin America. People come and create businesses and exploit the people. And then you look around 5 years later, and yeah, that same employee might have a job, but he's not really living any better than he was living you know
Exactly.
when that person
And
came.
that has to change. And it's not going, and the government is created the opportunities, but has to change the mind of the people too. Because if someone that comes from outside and do the same that we are doing is not good. But
Do
if
you
the
see this
people,
shift? Sorry about that. Go ahead.
now I'm saying, I'm going to give you an example. It's someone that friends of me say in the past. For example, there are the call centers companies that come from USA to El Salvador in the past. Okay, they come with the USA benefits, the higher salaries and everything. And when they left El Salvador and someone else from El Salvador bought the company, becomes as a Salvadorian company, and everything changed.
So the
The
Salvadorians started paying less.
Yes, and I have friends that told me something about that, and I say, "Oh my God, that's incredible." So it's something that you know that has to change. It's going to be something good that the people that come from outside are starting to do that, because then the people from El Salvador are starting to do the things different. Probably you will feel the resistance from the wealthy. I don't know, but it's time to share. It's what I think, and but not just wait what Bukele is doing for me. Yes, Bukele can do all the good things for the country, but we as a society, if we don't change, El Salvador will be the same.
Yeah.
Will be
But do you see what's going on in El Salvador right now sustaining? Do you think they'll sustain this shift long term even after Bukele's gone? Or how do you feel about the future once he's out?
I feel confident.
Do you need reliable shipping across Latin America and the Caribbean? CaribbeanShipper.com specializes in delivering from the U.S. straight to your door in Colombia, Panama, and Argentina. And yes, they also serve the Caribbean, from Turks and Caicos all the way down to Trinidad. Right now, they're rapidly expanding in Medellin, Colombia, and quickly growing their presence in Panama and Argentina. With door to door tracking, insured shipments, and seamless customs handling, they've got your shipping needs covered. So, whether you're a digital nomad, a retiree, or a business scaling internationally, Caribbean Shipper is your trusted partner. From consolidating online orders to shipping full container loads, they ensure your packages arrive safely. So register today at CaribbeanShipper.com/register and let them take care of your shipping needs throughout Latin America and the Caribbean.
I honestly feel confident because yes, like I say, it's like a period of change right now. We are adapting to everything right now. And first of all, I don't know if the people will like that Bukele left the president after even the second period. We will see. I don't know. It's too early to talk about that, but the people has confidence that the change will continue in the country. There's always the people that say that okay, even they see the good things, they only see the bad things in everything, like every country in the world.
What
But
when does Bukele's term end?
he has her second period right now. He only has 1 year in 4 years in 2002 and 229. Yeah, 29.
2029. So you have another 5 years of him. That's good. 4 years.
Yeah, and I mean, when the good things are going well, why you have to change?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He say he for his family, for his wife, for his daughters, and hello, I am father, so I understand what he's saying. I mean, he needs. family time. Right now, probably he cannot do anything he wants to do right now because he's the president.
Mm.
And hello, he has enemies. He has a country to work. And yeah, but it's something that we don't know. At least for my part, I feel confident that everything is going to continue here in El Salvador. The people are starting to say I don't like that and I want that change. The people is starting to understand that these benefits that we have right now as a society is good for us. I mean, only I'm sorry for my French. Just a stupid person can say no. I want to go back to the past.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You've finally seen what it's like for things to work and be safe and be getting better for people. So why the hell would you want to go back the other way? I hope that that's the mentality that the entire
Yeah,
country takes
it
eventually.
is the most mentality. I mean, hello, I was with two clients. They come together. They are Bitcoiners, and they are thinking to move to El Salvador. I mean, they had their own business in USA, but they want to retire here because they believe that El Salvador has the opportunity to grow more.
I agree.
And they were impressive. When the first I took them to the nice areas because when they say, okay, we want a house like that, I mean, it's not that I had to take them to, with all the respect with my Salvadorian friends, to Ilopango, to Apopa or Soyapango. I had to take places like Piletas, like El Encanto Country Club, areas that are nice. And they say, this is amazing. I never thought that El Salvador looked like that you had this and this. And they were very happy. And then I said, okay, now we are going to the northern side of the country. And and they say, oh, I mean, they were impressive because I mean, they see a lot of people happy there,
Yeah,
and they say, "Really, these people lived in fear before?" And I
yeah,
say, "Yes. I mean, we cannot walk on these streets or something like that in the past. I mean, probably this is the first time these people is looking a gringo. Sorry for the word
no, no,
in front or talk with them, because we ask in the small tienditas. Uh, to buy a soda or water, and they love how friendly is the people, even they don't speak the language. And the people are trying to be very helpful to say, you want this? They pointed on what they want, and then this is that, and then my clients say, then I had to give you them a tip, and I say, okay, that is not common in El Salvador, but it's optional to you,
yeah.
and because it's very cheap to buy
Well,
something here.
be careful. Be careful with coaching people to give a bunch of tips because I saw that happen in Colombia. Um, 10 years ago, Colombia, no one tipped. It wasn't common, right? It was included as a service fee in your tab, and you didn't give
Yeah.
extra. And then there was this massive influx of gringos. By the way, you don't offend me with that. I'm very used to it. There was a matter. There was there was a massive influx of gringos that would come down and just start throwing these tips at people, which is a part of our culture. So I understand that. I understand why they did it, but they really screwed it up for all of us that were actually living a life here because then now people expect it. I mean, I was downstairs this morning in a building here and there's tip jars everywhere now in Latin America and all the places gringos go, there's tip jars everywhere. And all the waiters are like, yeah, he's a great tipper. And they're talking like American waitresses now, right? They're trying to sell you on giving them tips. Three to 5 years ago, you never would have heard that. Tips wasn't a thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
be
yeah.
careful. Be careful on coaching that because then you'll be tipping 20% of everything you do, and you'll
I
find
know.
your money.
I explain very well before everything to them that always the tip is included in the price, and it's like the 10%, sometimes 15%. So it's optional to give you a tip because I cannot tell you. I mean,
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
right. What I'm saying, you had experience. Like I cannot tell you, no, no, don't give to them money because I mean it's not up to me to
to tell them.
decide. But
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
have to
for sure.
yeah to explain them that the tips is included in the price,
Mm.
and sometimes they choose to do that. And yeah, I mean, it's creating like a environment to for the people who work for service, and they receive always tips, because then they are going to wait tips for Salvadorians too, and that's something very complicated.
I always say for Latin American countries, it's good for the economy and good for many things to start inviting the gringos down to spend money. But I think in the beginning it's good, but 10 to 15 years later, once they really start liking the place and they really start coming, there's tons of them. It can end up being very bad because prices on everything go up. And I've seen it before. A lot of the locals get moved out of the areas that they live in because they can no longer afford the neighborhood that they've been living in for 20 or 30 years. And right now in Colombia, and I know it happens in Mexico all the time, the locals are pissed because they're having to move out of the areas they lived in for the last 30 years because the Americans came and drove all the prices up.
Yeah, I know you. What are you talking about? It's about gentrification.
Gentrification. That's right.
Yeah, but I have to be honest with that. The gringos will not be coming to live on the places I was mentioned, Soyapango, Ilopango,
Ah,
Apopa. Even there are very cheap places.
yeah.
Is because the area, even for all Salvadorians, some Salvadorians live there because a lot was cheap, not because it's the most nicest areas to live.
Okay.
So gentrification is kind of difficult here because although if you can pay a nice house here in some nice areas here, you will be living there. And it's not for the whole population to live
Mm.
there. I mean, oh, we are still a poor country. I cannot say we are a first world country, and we have a very small space. We are normally. I think we have the same uh, size of Delaware. I think so. We are not a big country like Mexico or like
Mm.
Colombia.
Mm.
I know Medellin is a large city, but if you come to San Salvador, I mean, it's a small city. The problem that we have right now is with the traffic. A
Mm.
lot of cars everywhere. If you go here to San Salvador, so many people say, okay, they are trying to do gentrification in San Salvador. Hello, nobody lived there before.
Got
But
it. Got it.
that's the truth. It's not that you
Yeah.
go to San Salvador, there's a lot of people living there. No,
Got it.
uh, not at all. Most of the people here live around San Salvador, and probably just in a specific area of San Salvador, but no in the downtown, the historical center of San Salvador. That was more for small business or probably abandoned places. And right now, the people are trying to come and invest in that areas and trying to create a different environment. So that's not gentrification. And
Mm.
gentrification, I understand that if the people, a lot of gringos, like 100 gringos comes and lives in Ilopango in a residential area. First, I don't think they want to live there,
Yep.
being honest. Second, I don't think they are going to pay a lot of money for living in that house, that kind
Yeah.
of house.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that every part of Soyapango, Ilopango, or Apopa is ugly. I don't want to sound like I discriminate something of my country because I'm not. I'm just saying, I mean, you have to be realist between you
Yeah.
will choose a different kind of houses or living there. And hello, I don't think so.
Yeah.
The
Yeah. Yeah.
problem is it's more with the Salvadorians that are coming from outside right now that, they come with money and they are paying anything. So that's the principal reason the prices are going up. It's
Skyrocketing.
not
Yeah.
for the gringos coming and just paying whatever they want. No, 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 no,
Gotcha.
no, no.
Gotcha.
Because I have clients and I am sure about that because I trying to make the best deals to my clients to not
Hmm.
pay the highest prices. Even they say, I love this area, but I say, no, don't pay that. It's too much. It's too much. This property costs probably the half of the price that I'm asking right now. Just,
That
just be
that's
patient and wait.
actually one of the things that I always talk about when I'm talking to Americans or Canadians about moving to Latin America is when you start looking for rental property or you start looking to buy a place in Latin America, most people, everyone will tell you in most of these countries that they're a real estate agent, and they'll sell you whatever at the highest price they can possibly get out of you, and they're not going to be honest. A lot of times they're not going to be honest with you. So you really need to do your due diligence and your research and find someone who is looking to build a real business long term. And those types, like yourself, right? You're not trying to cheat people, you're trying to do the right thing for your clients. Because I saw that happen in Colombia. You would come down here, and I spoke the language, so I was speaking to a lot of people
Hablas
on the.
español.
Sí, yo lo hablo. Bueno, como quieras. El problema es que la audiencia no me va a entender en español,
Okay.
entonces toca en inglés. So it, the problem I saw was, you would go looking for a place to rent in Medellin as an example, and my friends were telling me, oh yeah, that place goes for about $600 a month, and then I'd find a guy at the gym that would say, "Hey, do you want to go see that apartment?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'd like to see that. How much is it?" After I saw it, I'm like, "How much is that?" And he'd like, "Oh, it's $1,500 per month." So everyone had, this guy would give you the real price because he's your friend, and then you go talk to two or three other people, and you'd get three different prices, and ultimately that's what became the real price in Medellin, because they'd get these gringos that would come in, and the Colombian, or also there's a couple of American companies that did the same thing. They would grab the gringo and say, "Oh, well, it's only really $150,000 to buy that house." That's the real price, $150,000. But they would say, "Oh, it's 50,000," because they were getting on the internet, and they would look at Airbnb, and they would look at websites in the U.S. and find a similar property in Miami, and that similar property in Miami might be $500,000. So they would say to the guy from Miami, "Oh, it's 250,000," and to him, he's like, "Oh gosh, I can get the same quality apartment for half price in Medellin. I'll do that, no problem." But the real price was like 150,000. So 5 years later, that fake price becomes the real price. And so I always tell these guys, I'm like, you have to find real estate agents and just people in general that are trying to build a long term business and that aren't going to cheat you. And
Yeah.
I think that's
No,
what
no,
you guys are building there,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, what I'm trying to explain my clients is say first step is come and visit and see if El Salvador is for you or not.
Mm-hmm.
Like my wife says, 90% of the decision is taken after they come the first time. So if they see El Salvador has potential for them and they want to move, then we are starting to help them to find a place to rent, not to buy, unless they fall in love with Salvador when they want to buy it, something here because we found a perfect offer for them. And when they first time they came, they see something, and we had the opportunity to talk with the owner, and it's a decent price, it's not overpriced, and they say, I love that area and I love that house. I love that property. I want that property for me. It's not all the cases, but it's something that can happen. Normally, we say to our clients, okay, you have to come back. Go back to USA. We explain what the documents they need to become a resident. And after 6 months, 8 months, they come back and they start to rent and they are looking around El Salvador again or just focusing and find the right place to live, and it's how we are doing, and we help with that to our clients, but most is for what you were saying. I mean, it's not just come and spend all the money and then come back in 6 months to their country or sell everything because that happened in the past. Not with our clients, but I know because they, after that problem happens, they come to us and explain what they do. That they they listen and other people to say, okay, just come to El Salvador because, oh, Bukele, freedom, Bitcoin, blah, blah, blah. And they say, no, I come to El Salvador thinking that they are just moving, for example, from Florida to Georgia, something like that. I mean, that not changed a lot, but and the same country, the same language. And when they move here, and nobody's speaking English around you. The prices are different, the culture is different, the traffic, everything is different. And after saying no, I want to come back, but they are facing the problem. They already solved everything in USA.
So
So
the idea is that
how?
they come and really truly experience it. And I think you'd probably agree, but in order to truly experience it, you need to stay a couple of months, right?
Yeah,
1 week in
yeah,
1 week, right? I mean, no matter where you go in the world, if you only go and stay for 1 week, which is very typical of Americans, they think they're really
yeah.
doing something when they go somewhere for a week. But in 1 week, you don't really see the place. I mean, you can see the highlights of a place, but you're not really getting in the culture. So it's kind of hard to make a decision with only a
Yeah,
1 week stay.
it's difficult. At least they had the idea if El Salvador could be a perfect place or the right place, so they are not going to waste time. Because yes, we had some clients that they come back, and we had another that they say, no, El Salvador is not for me because I thought it was different. So, but more probably the 80% of our clients come back.
Yeah.
So, because I mean, we're trying to tell the truth. And
Yep.
probably yes, here is kind of easy to show around because it's a small country. I mean, you don't have to drive for like more than 6 hours
To
to
see the whole
go
country.
anywhere. Yeah,
Wow.
no, no. So we divided the time during the week going around to see some areas. And yes, probably we are missing some areas, yes. But then after that, they see, okay, Salvador has potential. Next time when I come back, I will see the other places that I can't do in my first time. So is what they do, is what we recommend. Just not jump with your eyes closed and then you are going drowning here in El Salvador and you want to come back in, like I said, in a couple of months
Well,
later.
when I have people ask me, retirees and people who are trying to anybody that's trying to move abroad, they ask me about it. They're like, "Where should I move?" And I'm like, "The only way to figure out where you truly want to be is to go to a bunch of different places and see how it feels, right? You can't really sit at the house in the US on Google and say, I want to live by the beach. I've got this much money, and here's where, and Google's just going to populate the perfect place. That's not how it works. It's a feeling that you get when you go to that place. So if you go to El Salvador and you really dig into the culture and experience it, the food, the people, the traffic, like you said, everything. You want to experience everything you can possibly experience. Go see the volcanoes, go see the beaches. Can I see myself living in this area? Well, you might be able to see yourself living in an area, but you don't get it's that real connection, right? There are many places you're going to visit that you love, they're beautiful. Latin America is amazing, but it's just doesn't feel right. And then you're going to ultimately land in a specific place and have you're going to know immediately that this place is for me or it's not for me. Or not
Yeah,
immediately, but if it is for you, you're going to get a feeling that it is for you, and then
no,
that's how.
exactly like you're saying. I mean, oh, I cannot say just Salvadorian, we are friendly, we are lovely people. No, hello, I met a lot of people from all Latin America, and I can say, okay, we are very similar.
Mhm.
Uh, Latinos, we are very similar. We are very united as a families, and we have family values and things like that. And most of the people they love that to see families. I mean, one of my clients came and we were walking around in the park, and he was impressive. I mean, his face like that because he saw all the families enjoying.
Yeah.
And I mean, he didn't see people looking like that, their cell phone, and
Yeah.
say, You don't have cell phones in El Salvador? Is the first thing that he asked me. And I said, yes, everyone has. But but then look, I mean, they took just for pictures or something like that, selfie for social media, and they were enjoying. And he said, you won't see this in America, is
No,
what they say.
no.
I don't have to say America. I will have some issues for Latinos me saying that, but
I
you know
say it
what
all.
I,
I say it all the time, and I know that they get pissed about it, but
yeah,
I still say it. You know,
no,
the only country in Brazil, or the only country in Latin America that is okay with saying that you're an American or you're from America is Brazil. Like the Brazilians, you know, you go to Brazil and they're all like, "Oh, you're American. You're from America." I'm like, "Yeah." Like they're just very happy being Brazilians, and I think that they just don't
they feel
care.
different.
Yeah, they feel different about it, but every other country in Latin America is like, "Well, we're
Yeah,
American too."
yeah, but still. So that's the kind of impression that the people have from El Salvador. But I mean, I can say Mexico has amazing people.
Absolutely.
Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua,
All Latin America. All Latin
Colombia.
America. Yep. Yep. Yep.
But I just say if the people come here and they say no, this is my country, this is El Salvador, they're welcome here. You know.
Let me ask you to that point. I really, you know, I talked to Jenny the other day as well as you know, and then now I've talked to you. I've done a lot of research on what you guys are doing over there, and really appreciate what you're doing. I think it's going to be incredible. How do people reach out to you guys if they want to learn a little bit more about the services that you guys provide, or a little more about El Salvador?
Okay, we had a name that sounds weird in Spanish because we call living like a local, but
Living like a
you
local without the G.
without the G. Yes. Why? Because, hello, vive como un local, like a Salvadorian. That's the experience, not just come here and bring your bubble and put your bubble here. I mean, you need to live with Salvadorians and you need to feel happy with Salvadorians, not complaining about Salvadorians. And that's the most common problem from the people that come from different parts of the world has in some different countries because they come and they say, this is like an America and I put my boundaries here. Hello, Latin America is not like that. I mean, we are loud people. We have parties. We are very loud people. Second, we are very friendly. I mean, we respect your personal space, but probably I will push in your.
You're going to touch more than the Americans are used to. Yeah.
Yeah, we are come close to you. We are trying to become friends of you, and it's not like you are walking on the streets in the morning and nobody will tell you good morning. No, here in Latin America it's something common. So if
And if you
you
don't
want,
say good morning, then you're rude.
yes, and the people say, why these people like
Get
that?
these gringos out of here. They're so frio.
Yeah, I mean, we respect that you are like that because you grow in that kind of culture, but we are different. And if you love that situation that people tell you, excuse me, good morning, thank you will listen that more here. And when I recognize that with my clients, that because first of all, they don't understand what they are saying in Spanish, but normally the people say to them, thank you. And my clients just look at me like that, what they are trying to say. And when they understand that it's thank you, gracias, they are starting to say gracias too.
Mm.
So if the people can adapt that situations to their normal life,
But they're going to
they
have
will be
trouble.
happy.
Yeah.
So that's
It
why
takes
it's
a
even like
little
a lot.
while. It takes a little while for Americans to get used to those things. But I'll tell you this, as an American that has gotten used to those closer, the touching, and I think that that is more natural. And I think that even an American, after a while, will realize that that's what they actually want. They actually want that close friendship. They're just not used to having it. And for me, spending so much time in Latin America, once when I go back to the U.S. or spend time in the U.S. and people aren't touching and aren't friendly, that's harder for me now than coming to Latin America and people touching me and wanting to be close and friendly. Um,
it's not like they're going to touch all your body,
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
not weird. It's
Yeah,
not. Yeah,
but
yeah.
the people don't understand something different. I mean, if the people shake your hands, your friends are more close.
Some will
We're
hug
talking.
you, and yep.
Yeah, you know what my wife says? The southern people are like that. The people from the south of USA are
Yeah,
more people
they're
work
more,
like
but
that.
still not like not to the level of Latin Americans though.
Not the Texans, they
No.
put you a gun
Oh, they'll shoot you in Texas. You don't touch anybody. Yeah, fuck. They'll shoot you and not even
and
get in trouble about it. But the problem is in the U.S. is like you can just touch someone on the elbow and they'll sue you, right? If it's a female, if a guy's like touching a girl on the elbow, helping her through the crowd, that's a lawsuit in the U.S. You'll
yeah.
get your house taken from you for touching an elbow in the U.S. Um,
Yeah, it's like I was saying, the family values is different here. Normally, it's not that the people are me as a father waiting for my kids has eating and they have to move away from the house. Normally, it's something that not happen here. The families are very united here. That is not common in USA or Canada,
no,
for
we
saying
don't we don't
something.
like each other that much in the U.S.
No, we are very close here. Well, Latinos are like that, and I am sure that it's something my clients when they see that they say we like these family values.
Yeah,
We
it's more
like
it's
that.
it's it's natural. It's more natural than the way we live in the US. I'll be the first to admit that. And again, the touchy-feeliness is more natural. It just takes a year or so to get used to it. And once you get used to it, you're never going to want to go back to the distant cold people in the US. Even when I go back, Caesar, and visit my nieces. My niece, she's now one of them's 14, one of them's 9. But this was a few years back. I think one was 11 and one was 6, maybe 3 years ago. Um, and I go back after being out of the country in Latin America. Brazil's even touchier than any other country I've been in Latin America. So I had been in Brazil for like 8 months, and maybe Colombia for 3 or 4 months before that. So I've been gone for a year. I go back to see my nieces, who were again 11 and 6 at the time. And my niece, that's 11, looks at me and goes, "You're too touchy. You're just too touchy. I don't want to hug all the time." I'm like, okay. And like the next time I go in, which is a couple years later, it was like a year ago or something. I go in to see them, and I went up to her. She was at a softball game. I go up, I give her one hug. It was really nice, normal hug, right? Because you haven't seen each other in a year. We didn't hug another time for the next week that I was there because they're just so distant. They don't like that, right? They're just like,
Yeah,
and I find it
don't
weird. It's
talk to
so
me. Don't
hard for
talk
me.
to me.
I can't do it anymore, right? I could need that closeness now.
And hello, that's good for for the people. Feel the people around you. That energy is good for your health. Not being so isolated from the world,
It's definitely good
and
for your
that's
health. I
good.
agree.
Yeah, so that's why we are living like a local, to explain you all these things, the different things that we are in Latin America as a culture, provide you the real El Salvador, the nice, the ugly thing we still have, like, hello, like you will see trash in some areas here on the streets. But we say hello, the people are starting to being educated with that. The government just starting this like 3, 4 days ago, a new way to work with that. I mean, they created the national company for the trash uh, on the streets for not. I mean, they trying to
Clean it
show
up.
how the people can deal with that. They are trying to keep cleaning El Salvador, and now they are working and taking care of that because the people was complaining about, hello, the trash throw. I mean, they left my trash trash outside. Sorry for my pronunciation. They left my trash outside of my house, and I had to wait another week. And the dog will come and they spread all the trash on the streets. And now the government say, okay, I'm going to take care of everything because the municipalities has a lot of issues with that. And okay, the government is doing their part. Now it's up to us to do something too. It's not just I eat this and boom on the street. Not anymore. So I show them that, and when they see, okay, I come in from that to this, Hello.
Well,
Everything.
I think the Americans, especially I say Americans because that's where I'm from, that's what I know the most, obviously, but most Americans that give Latin America at least a year, most of them end up finding a way to spend a lot of time here, whether or not they come full time or not. Most people, once they've given it a year and really become comfortable, they continue coming back, and whether that's El Salvador or Brazil or Colombia or Mexico, wherever you decide to go, I think that Latin America has a lot to offer for Americans. And hey, if they go to El Salvador, I hope they reach out to you. Sincerely appreciate what you guys are doing over there, and yeah, let's be in touch, Caesar. I sincerely appreciate your time.
No, thank you to you, Matt. I hope some of the people who is going to watch this video can have this as a amazing tool to know what to expect in El Salvador. This is what we do, and hello, you're welcome to El Salvador.
Thank you for joining us on the Matt Chambers Show. I'm your host, Matt Chambers. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review the show to help others discover it. Until next time, keep traveling, keep doing business, and keep living beyond borders. See you soon.